Hello my friends, my name is Dragonheart Prince of Wales and welcome to a random video on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about cats, but in particular a certain cat, not my cat, not my parents' cat, but this cat by here for this fantastic game which is called Stray. And I want to make this video kind of harkening back to when I did the Let's Talk Gaming stuff. I'm talking gaming now with this game, which is why I'm making the video. But I watched a reviewer who I watched quite a lot of called Luke Stevens recently, and he talked about his review of this game. He does long form critique style videos, which I really enjoy. But I kind of disagreed with some of the stuff he said about Stray. He was basically saying, like, you know, if you don't want it, don't get it. Don't support the developer kind of vibe. That's kind of what he was saying. Which, you know, not every game can be a AAA fantastic game, 10 out of 10, game of the year contender. But in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the game. So spoilers in case you are, you know, curious of playing the game or anything. I'm going to describe the world a little bit. I'm going to give some thoughts about me when I played the game and everything, and sort of go from there. First of all, the cover is great. I love it. But it comes with these lovely little art cards, which if I open this up by here, they come in this little sleeve, and you've got like different characters. You've got like the cat, and you've got like the companions, which are like the robots that are within the game world. And I love it when developers do this sort of thing. The developer for this game is B12, or as they are called, Blue 12. And one of the things I like is that the drone in the game is called B12. So it's like a little subtle reference to the developer. It was produced by Annapurna Studios. So Annapurna Studios worked on a lovely game called The Pathless, which is a game I talked about on this channel previously. That was a very good game. Quite a short game as well. I think The Pathless is about 12 to 13 hours. You can probably finish it in and platinum the game, possibly even less. And that was a game that I really enjoyed. Now, Stray is, of course, playing as a cat. The big phenomenon is that you're a cat. You do cat things. You wash yourself. You jump up onto ledges. You can, you know, sprint. You've got quite a bit of agility as a cat. But ultimately, you are a cat. Don't buy the game expecting anything else, you know, anything amazing, you know, like fast traveling things and swords and shields and use of magic and all these kind of other crazy things you'll get in other games, because ultimately you are a cat. The whole point of the game is you play as a cat and you do cat things. But you're embroiled into this kind of weird post-apocalyptic world where your companion of other cats, basically, you're playing with them at the start of the game, it sets the tone, and then as you're jumping over a ledge, you lose your footing, you slide down this slide and into the gutter, basically. And you've basically made it to the underworld at this point. And in this underworld, you meet all these crazy robotic humanoid people who are called companions. And some of them are quite quirky and quite funny, but they are mimicking human behavior. Now, there's quite a lot of lore within this game. And if you find all of the memories and stuff and things, you'll learn the entire plot of the story through the lore, which I'll tell you now. So again, spoilers if you don't want to be spoiled. But the game basically goes over how the humans basically had a virus, they became deceased, and then the virus came, the humans lived underground with their companion robots, the AI. The humans eventually died out through this virus, but the AI kept developing and kept maturing and became more human-like, as in they have emotion, they have personalities, connections with other companions and stuff. So it's quite an interesting concept. There are this other creature called the Zerks, which are these like purpley, pinky, squidgy, pig-like kind of creatures, which will try and kill you every chance they get. And they've kind of taken over the darker districts of this world. And there's also these other robots called the Sentinels, which are like police robots. They hover around in like these drone things. They have these lights. They can shoot at you and stuff. They are quite dangerous. So they are as far as the depth of characters and stuff go, that's pretty much it for the characters you come across within this game. But you come into this world, you learn about the world as you go along. You meet B12, which is a drone, but through the story you find out that B12 is actually a human who's transferred, or a human who was a scientist who has transferred their consciousness within to this drone to basically live on. And you go through many trials and tribulations with B12. You have to save him a couple of times. He saves you a couple of times. You build up this friendship. And it's quite a lovely, heartfelt moment towards the end of the game where it sort of pays off, where he literally sacrifices himself so you, the cat, can survive and live the rest of your life. But B12 basically dies, and he literally says, like, I'm dying knowing that the world is in a much better place for how the companions have developed, and how you are as a cat, effectively, because you've obviously done all these nice things to try and help B12. And the story ends, and it's quite sad and somber to some extent, because he sacrificed himself, and you, being a cat, what do? You curl up next to his metallic corpse and decide to go to sleep. Which, some of the things the cats do are quite funny, but they are things the cats actually do. So then the story ends, and it's a lovely shot where you eventually make it to the outside world, and as you walk up the steps, sort of turn back, and like you've got the sunlight glaring on you, and you can see like all the greenery and shrubbery and stuff on the outside if you've made it to the outside world. I didn't notice it when I played through, but when I watched a couple of videos back on YouTube, I noticed that on the control panel on the door, there's like a little like electric shock, as if something's just awoken. So it's possible that B12 is still alive and his consciousness is within the underworld sort of IT systems and stuff, which I think is quite a cool little thing. And if that is the case, you can sort of picture it as you want. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to do a sequel or not, but that was quite interesting. The game is an indie game. The game is not that expensive, really. Like, brand new, the game was £35. When you consider that, the new God of War or The Last of Us Part 1 remake or these kind of games are £70. It's half the price of these games. When it comes down to buying games and the financial side of things, it comes down to the individual at the end of the day. It's whatever you're prepared to pay for the game. Somebody could pay £10 for the game, not enjoy it, and say they overpaid. Somebody could pay £70 for the game and say they absolutely loved it and was well worth it. It all comes down to your perception of money and stuff at the end of the day. So I'm not going to say, like, is it worth this or that or whatever. But the game has been on Game Pass quite a bit and stuff. I actually pre-ordered the game. It's one of the few games I have pre-ordered. I don't tend to pre-order games at all these days, but this is one which I did because I wanted to support the developer and I wanted to enjoy the game, which I finally have. Haven't played the game. I didn't play the game when it first came out. I had to wait a few weeks and a few months because I had other games and other commitments in my life and stuff. My gaming isn't as it was, and that's another point as well, because it's not a very long game. I'm going for the platinum, so I need to play through the game again to get the platinum, because you've got to do a speed run challenge. But there are, it's like your first playthrough is like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and then to get the platinum and speed run, you're going to take 2 hours. So most people probably play like 5, 6, 7 hours of this game at the very most, But for me, someone who works, who's very busy most of the time, and struggles with getting time into game, that's perfect. I've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla sitting on my shelf over there, and I am never probably going to finish that game or play it. I might play it sometime, but I doubt I'll ever finish it because it's such a long game. It's like a 50, 60 hour game. It's like 100 hours plus if you want to platinum that game. I can't see that happening anytime soon. I tried to sneak in a few hours here and there in the week to play games. Short games, I love them. I appreciate them. I feel like this game is made with so much love as well. Apparently, the design of the cat in the game that you play as, the catagonist, I guess, is based on one of the developers' own cats. And there's a lovely little nod in the credits as the game finishes and you've got the end credits. It's got cats and dogs, and all the names of the cats and dogs as pets of the people who worked on the game all appear. So you've got like Luna and Bluebell and all these different like names popping up, which is quite cute, which I thought was a lovely little nod as well. It was a game made by animal lovers for animal lovers. One of the things I would have liked with the game, there's only a small criticism I can think of. It would be nice that after playing the game initially the first time and finishing it, you unlock like a customization mode or something. It would be cool then, because most people will play through the game twice if they're going for the platinum anyway, because you have to. So it'd be nice on your second playthrough if you could customize your cat whether it be changing the colour of your cat, the colour of its coat, or adding things like a collar or a hat or glasses or things like that. And that would have been a nice little thing just to spice things up a little bit, because like I said, it is a short game. I'm not necessarily knocking that because I don't mind shorter games. So overall, I mean, if I was to give this a rating out of 10, it would be 1 million. I'm joking, it would be 1 million. It's probably solid 8. I'd give it a solid 8, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind it being a bit longer, but I don't mind it the shorter games, like I said. So for someone like me, it's fine. But, you know, going back to my point at the start of this video when I said about Luke Stevens and sort of suggesting not to support developers, it's a very dangerous thing to sort of say, because you do need to, at the end of the day, someone makes a product, you either like it or you don't, you either buy it or you don't. But if you're telling people not to buy it, but it's actually not a bad product, I don't think that's the right sort of advice. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. Anyway guys, I'm going to end the video here. I've been Dragonheart. Until next time, goodbye.